Hello and welcome to Dude's Comics of the Week. I'm Jason and this is my weekly video where I take the 5 books I enjoyed the most this week and review them. This is not in any way a countdown video, they're not in any kind of order, just randomly they're just the 5 books I enjoyed the most, but it's not like going from the 5th best to the 1st best, they're just all jumbled up. So without further ado, I think we'll get to those reviews. So first up this week on my comics of the week we have Justice League 3000 issue number 4 from DC Comics, and this book has just been a real joy and a real surprise. Like many of you, I rolled my eyes when this book was first released, like what we need is another Justice League book. But this book has been fantastic. This was the issue where we were going to get answers. We were told that our new Justice League are the future, they're not clones. But what were they? And this issue we get answers to those questions, and it was very satisfying. There were some really nice twists in the tale. The art, I think, really paints this future world as a dark and dingy kind of world and a bit dirty. But the whole story, I'm just really enjoying this book. I like the characterizations. Superman is a super jerk, and the way he's always saying I'm Superman, like, it impresses people. I really like, and I find his character quite amusing. But at the same time, as having that kind of little bit of humour in there, which is unusual for a DC book, at the same time it also has a real big sense of peril, and this book for me has been a real joy. I like the character Locus. She's totally off her head but totally dangerous, and in the book there's a lot of things going on. You kind of think, well, how are they going to get out of this? So yeah, I'm really intrigued to see where this book's going, but really enjoying it thus far, and give Justice League 3000 issue number 4 5 stars out of 5. Next up we have Captain Marvel issue number 1 from Marvel Comics. This was a book I just picked up out of curiosity. I liked the previous run of Captain Marvel that was also written by Callisto DeConnick, and the only reason I dropped that book was because it started getting caught up with other books. They did a crossover with Avengers Assemble, and then they were part of Affinity. So Captain Marvel was a book I kind of dropped just because I didn't want to be picking up extra books to understand the story at the time. I had enough books on my pull list. I didn't need at that time to be adding extra. I missed it, I must admit, because I really liked how DeConnick writes Captain Marvel. She does a really great job, and it's a job that like Marvel characters overall do really well, where you have these like superheroes, but as people they're flawed, and you kind of can connect with them a bit more because they're flawed as people, but they still go out and be heroes. I think it helps take these people and connect you with them a bit more, and I really like how they kind of wrote the character. So when I saw this, I thought I'll try it, and I'm glad I did. It's a really good first issue. It sets up nicely where the series is going to go. The beginning of the story uses a device that they use a lot these days in stories, where you start off at a certain point and then we jump back to see how we got to that point. And that's how we start the issue. The basic premise of the book is that Captain Marvel is going to go into space, and this is all the setup of why she's going to end up going into space, kind of like how Iron Man did. I think it was about a year ago now that he went off on a journey through space, and that's what this is first issue. It sets up everything, lets you know what you need to know about Captain Marvel moving forward. And like I say, I thought it was a really strong first issue. I like the art, I like the characterization of Captain Marvel, and I'm really interested to see where this book's going to go, and I give Captain Marvel issue number 1 5 stars out of 5. So next in my comics of the week we have Superman Wonder Woman issue number 6, and this book just continues to be an absolute joy. It gets better every issue. The art in this book is gorgeous. Tony Daniel is on the form of his life. I don't mean this in a sleazy way, but Wonder Woman looks really beautiful in this book, but she's still totally badass. The story, we get basically round 2 of Zod and Fiora going up against Superman and Wonder Woman, which that's cool, but also we get this overarching kind of story of, does the relationship between Superman and Wonder Woman make them weaker or stronger? And that's kind of been something that's been following and been explored throughout this first arc. and this it's for front and center this issue, and we get a definitive answer to that question. The twist in the middle of the book is really great. I really enjoyed that, and the end of the book really grips you, wanting to see how they're going to get out of that. You know, like certain characters they're not going to kill off, but it's still interesting to see, well, how are they going to get out of this fix. So I'm looking forward to that. And also, like, Zod is just a fantastic villain. I really like his character. I liked his character in the movie Man of Steel, and I'm really liking his character in here, and you kind of wondering what his end game is and what his big plan is. The editor of this book does try and make an attempt to kind of place it in continuity by saying the events of Wonder Woman take place after this book. I kind of personally feel about continuity, and I'm not just going to have a go at DC here, because yeah, their New 52 is very confusing, but Marvel, with the amount of characters in different books now, who have got mobile books, make it just as confusing. And my whole thing, as somebody who suffers from migraines, is I just ignore continuity now. I just enjoy each book on its own merits and don't worry about how it fits in, because I found if you sit there and try and find how books fit together in continuity, you're just going to give yourself a migraine, whether you suffer from them or not. So I just kind of let that go over my head and just enjoy each book and each story on its own merits. And this story in this book has been really good, a fantastic book. I'm really enjoying the heck out of it, and I give Superman Wonder Woman issue number 6 5 stars out of 5. Well, next up, the next book, I was a bit surprised it made its way into my Comics of the Week, because before I read it, I was a bit negative on this book. It is Batman issue number 29 from DC Comics, which continues the 0-year story. And going into this book, I just was a bit 0-yeared out. I was like, this story had been going on for so long, and we seem to be treading water somewhat with the whole Dr. Death side story. But this issue, I felt, so I came into this not really looking forward to it, but when I read it, I felt that this issue was a good story, that it has a lot of the positives of 0 year are really kind of illustrated in this story. The whole thing about Batman, he's not the full article yet. He's not like our Batman. He's always got a plan, he always wins the day, but this Batman isn't quite as polished, isn't quite as, the finished article yet, and he's still making rookie mistakes, and it's really interesting to see this Batman. You've then got Alfred, who does not have the faith that Master Bruce can do, and he's always second guessing him, saying, sir, you can't do this, this won't work. So that's really interesting. Then you've got James Gordon, not yet Commissioner Gordon, and he's like the only good cop on a bad force, and seeing his character's journey to becoming Commissioner Gordon has been really interesting. Plus, I'm loving how the Riddler has been written. He's really coming across as big time in this story. I mean, at times there's elements of the Joker in the Riddler, and he can come off as a cheap version of the Joker. And I don't always like it when he does, like, the elaborate kind of traps. I like the riddles and him working on things that way. But I'm really liking how Riddler has been written in this book, though I'm still interested to find out what is his end game. And it may have been mentioned in a previous issue, but the story has been spaced out so much I might have just forgotten. But that's my overarching question, because he does seem to be coming with a bit of the crazy, like the Joker would. The art in this book is just beautiful, but not just the art, the colours and everything in this book is beautiful. And you can see it's been worth them taking that extra month to allow Greg Capullo more time to finish this. It was absolutely worth it, because the book is just a masterpiece, art-wise and layout-wise from start to finish. While yet I still feel the 0 year story has gone on too long, I actually really enjoyed this issue. Really enjoyed seeing these characters at earlier stages and seeing them develop into the people that we know and love. And I would give Batman issue number 29 5 stars out of 5. So the final book this week is The Superior Spider-Man issue number 29. Yep, 29. This book is just awesome. I'm really loving this book and this Goblin Nation story. We've got part 3 of it here, and everything that we've seen building for the last year is all coming home to roost, and I'm really enjoying that and seeing how well things have been planned out and how things are beginning to fit together. There are a lot of really great moments in the book. The art, I'm so pleased that Giuseppe Camuncoli's got this final arc of Superior Spider-Man. I don't think this art would have felt quite the same with Ramos doing art, and that's not to have a go at Ramos, he just isn't my favourite artist on this book. So I was so pleased to have Camuncoli doing the art, and it's beautiful, and there were some really great layouts. It's really interesting to see the Goblin going up against Dr. Octopus, who's now Spider-Man. Every issue I kind of begin to get different theories how things are going to happen. We've always thought that Peter Parker was going to fight his way back to be Spider-Man, but what if, you know, the Goblin gets that last piece of the puzzle that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and he kills, or he's going to kill, Anna Maria? Would Dr. Octopus give up control to bring Parker back to save Anna Marie? That, for me, is going to be the interesting thing. Or maybe it's the rage of losing her that leaves a door open for Peter to reassert control. So yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff still there. I still think there's going to be a big twist with the identity of the Green Goblin. I think it's either going to be a clone, or there's going to be some twist kind of connected, maybe, because it was around the time that Dr. Octopus was taking over Peter Parker. So there's going to be some kind of twist to this, I think, there. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that's all going to work out. But I'm just really enjoying this book. I think it's really top notch. There's a real sense of foreboding doom that has really become massive now, and you're just thinking, how is our Spider-Man going to get out of this? I really like, there's a nice twist with the Spider Slayers this issue. We get to see J. Jonah Jameson really descending, and you're thinking, at the end of this, there's no way they're going to let him remain mayor the way he's been acting. You've then got Mary Jane, who's really coming to her own, but it's going to be interesting when Peter comes back, what her and Peter's relationship is going to be like. Is he going to confide in her that what's happened, or what's going to go there? There's so many questions I got about this book, but I'm just enjoying it so much at the same time. Really looking forward to the next issue and to seeing where this is going to go and how it's all going to end up. And I give the Superior Spider-Man issue number 29 5 stars out of 5. Alright everybody, that's the end of this video, and those are my comics of the week. The other books I picked up this week, they will be reviewed in my own other video that should be up some point Saturday or Sunday, called Dude's Comic Book Roundup. So these are the books you're going to see reviewed in that video. You're going to see Constantine, issue number 12. We've got Star Wars, issue number 15. We've got The Star Wars, issue number 6. We've got Green Lantern Corps, issue number 29. We've got Hawkeye, issue 17. And Manifest Destiny, issue number 5. So yeah, if you want to see the reviews for any of those books, check out my other video, Dude's Comic Book Roundup. That should be up some point Saturday or Sunday. Thank you as always for taking the time to watch my video. If you liked it, please give me the thumbs up. Let me know you like what I'm doing. Thank you very much to everybody who's left comments on my videos over the last week. I really appreciate that. All that leaves me to say is that I've been Jason. This has been Dude's Comics of the Week. Bye for now.